We welcome you into another episode of Talking Blizz with Joey Bonadonna, and this week we welcome in defensive back number 24, Cyntell Williams. Cyntell, welcome to the show.
Appreciate you having me.
Absolutely, and this has been an interesting kind of run for you. Obviously, this week you got activated off IR, working back from an injury. First off, what was that process like, and now getting back to this point where you're back on the active roster?
The process was just attacking physical therapy every day with our training staff. I was going in there about 4 days a week, and then just doing what I can at practice to help the team, doing like small little ladders, just practicing those movements and strengthening my hamstring to get back healthy, to get back out there with the guys.
So 5 weeks you mentioned that it's been since you've been back on the field, and now getting a chance to go on the road, trying to get back in the win column game against Tulsa here on Saturday. But let's take the story back to the beginning. Obviously, growing up from Michigan, just across Lake Michigan, on the other side, Midwest guy. What was your introduction to football and your introduction to the game, and when did you know that this was something that you knew that you wanted to play as you got older?
I had a lot of older brothers that played football, and I used to just my dad said I used to cry at their practices because I couldn't go out there and be with them, but I was too small. So, and then when I was finally old enough, I think I started a year early playing. I was only second grader playing with third and fourth graders, and I hit the ground rolling. I was one of the best tacklers on the team. I started at corner as a second grader, and then that next year I finally got the taste of running the ball, playing offense, and I fell in love with that. And then just fast forward to high school, I thought I had a better shot at going to college and getting a scholarship, as far as I was a running back as well in high school, but I thought I had a better shot at getting a college scholarship playing defensive back. Originally I was playing corner back then, and then I bounced all around at college at Ferris State, but I wanted to play football basically my whole life.
So, growing up in Michigan, obviously, that there's like the D1 powerhouses in the state of, Michigan, Michigan State, places like that. But also when you think about college football in the state of Michigan, the GLIAC, Ferris State, Grand Valley State, a lot of great schools in that conference. What was that like, being able to join a team at Ferris State that ended up being pretty successful during your time there?
It was great, man. I loved my time at Ferris State. I was recruited by, like you said, all those schools in the GLIAC. Michigan State was my dream school, but I decided to. I wish I could have got a scholarship from Michigan State. One of my best friends, Brandon Randall, went on to play at Michigan State. I used to go and visit and game day visits with him, but all the GLIAC schools, I probably had every offer in the GLIAC. I was originally gonna go to Grand Valley. I had an older cousin playing there, but something happened where I just decided to go with Ferris State, and I'm glad I made that decision. And we had some good success, winning 2 national championships there. And we knew it's a good program. And
obviously there's a connection to the GLIAC around this team. Ethan Culberson, Grand Valley State, one of your teammates at Ferris State, Olalere Oladipo, Julius Wilkerson spent time in the GLIAC. Obviously there's a connection there, and you look at Coach Roberson's teams over the years, he likes to attack his home state of Michigan. Mm-hmm. What was that connection like right out of the gate when you knew that you had that connection with him coming here to Green Bay?
It was kind of a no-brainer once he told me, I'm a Michigan guy growing up in Detroit. It was just automatic, I'm gonna go play for you. Yes, I want to come play, and I appreciate the opportunity. And I like Coach Robes, a good guy.
And looking at the defense this year and where it's been, looking at last year's team compared to this year, this defensive secondary that we've looked at, 2 guys coming back from last year's team in Sean Steele and Rivarius Rivers, but you've kind of been part of this group that's come over and has elevated this secondary and this defensive unit as a whole, the snow-fly zone, as I like to call it. What has been that transition from the outdoor and now here in the indoor game? What was that like during your first time in training camp, and what's been your progression in the weeks since?
It was a learning curve, but like you said, those guys you mentioned, Sean and Rivarius, they helped me a lot early on, just understanding the game, knowing the different tricks and in and outs to it. I think the biggest learning curve for me was the speed, and it's the speed with those high moves and whatnot, and everything's happens pretty fast, and there's no time to mess up, so you gotta be on your toes. And the biggest, as time went on, I would say that getting your hands on, being physical, the game is much more physical, and getting your hands on the high moves and slowing them down is the biggest thing, and that makes the game easier for everyone on the back end because it simplifies and it condenses the field. So, yeah.
You mentioned growing up, you were one of the best tacklers on the field from the jump, and tackling was where you kind of picked up on, and that was where you had success early on. You were one of the top tacklers in the league before your injury. What was that like? Obviously, you talked about the physicality of the game. What was that transition like, being able to keep that part of your game here, transitioning into the indoor?
Like you said, that's just a natural thing for me. Tackling is a natural thing, so I just try to bring the same energy as I did outdoor and bring it indoors and just play my role and do what I can to make plays.
And mentioning those teammates that we had before with Double O, Ethan Culberson, Julius Wilkerson, other guys that have been around this squad this year, you overlapped with them quite a bit, and you've got your matchups over the years with GVSU. Now seeing all these guys come into one squad, what's that been like, being around some guys that you were rivals with in college, but now calling them teammates here in Green Bay?
I just think it's unique and it's cool. It's just like I competed against them when we're not knowing, and now that we're all on one team and getting to know those guys and just getting to know their different personalities, and that we all can come together for a common goal, even though we used to compete against each other like 3 or 4 years ago. So it's just cool. I'm glad they came, and I think it's cool, yeah.
And now going forward now, 3 games in 4 weeks. You get a bye after this one, but this week you guys got the Tulsa Oilers, a team that you guys did beat a few weeks ago, 42-22 here at home, but now get a chance to go on the road there, and this will be a common thread now down the stretch until the playoffs, trying to get that one more win to get a home playoff game here. But looking at this game and this matchup, what do you take away from this Tulsa team and how they've progressed over the years and now getting back out there on the field against them?
We know they got an explosive offense. They've been putting up points again these last few games. They got a new quarterback in there, so we just got to go in there and play Green Bay football, and I think we can get the job done. But we just got to eliminate their offense, and I'm sure our offense will take care of business. But on defense, stop their high-power offense. They like to score, and they got a good quarterback, some speed receivers. So we got to go in there and play Green Bay defense, and we'll be fine.
And being able to get back out there finally again after this stretch of 5 weeks that you haven't been out there, what are you looking forward to your first time back out there on the field?
I just want to go out there and get my first tackle, maybe get my hands on some balls and whatnot. But, yeah, just want to get out there and get a tackle and get all the jitters out and everything I've been waiting, anticipation and whatnot. So, yeah, first tackle now would be cool.
Absolutely. And then finally, the question I always like to end off with is what's one thing about Cyntell Williams that people might not know? It's a fun fact about you that you'd like to share with Blizzard Nation.
I think I'm a chef. I like to cook.
All right.
So, yes.
What's your specialty?
I would say spaghetti, pasta, or something like that.
There you go. I'm a big pasta guy myself, so I like that. So appreciate your time this week, Cyntell, and best of luck back out there on the field against Tulsa this week.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
And again, thanks, Cyntell, for his time. We want to thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Talking Blizz with Joey Bonadonna. Again, this week, Saturday on the road against the Tulsa Oilers will be a big one, and one win more will clinch a home playoff game in July. We'll see you in the next one, and as always, go Blizz.